a second. Let me do something real quick. All right, let me hop on the 5-minute chart. We're breaking below view op. We are breaking below view op. Here's that first 5-minute candle. You can pretty much mark out the high. We got like a minute left, so that high is pretty much created unless something really crazy happens. But as of now, let me mark out the high of that 5-minute candle right there. So, all right, there's the high. All right, and we're waiting for that close. About 30 seconds left. We're gonna get that low get put in. News-wise, let's see news-wise. Obviously today's a huge day in the market. FOMC today. Let's see. Today's what? Tuesday. Today's Wednesday. Holy. Yeah, interest rate decision at 2. What about 10 o'clock? Not really. I don't see much. Let me look at Forex Factory. All right, we got that 5-minute candle that just closed, so I'm gonna go ahead and mark that out and then drop down to the 1-minute chart. Let's see. All right, there's that 1-minute candle. I mean, the 5-minute range. There's 1-minute chart. Drop down, and we shall wait to see what happens. All right. In the meantime, I'm looking at Forex Factory. Today, Wednesday, we got... Let me filter this out. So, red folder. I don't need Canada. I don't need any of this crap. All right. Just USA. All right, today, USA. Obviously, 2 o'clock, FOMC. And then 2:30 press conference. 10:30 crude oil. So no major news before FOMC. FOMC is going to be the only major news event. What's up? What's up? All right, we're breaking below that range. Let's see. Kind of expect today to possibly be choppy. I wouldn't expect anything crazy, you know, any crazy move to one direction necessarily. I expect a lot of chop today. So we'll see. Let's see how this candle closes. If this candle can close outside the range, we're looking pretty good to potentially, you know, target back up. Let's see. 2 seconds, 1 second. Boom, there's the close outside the range. Let's see what happens. If we can get a push back inside this range and buyers can step in aggressively, I'd be interested. It looks like it's going for a 15-minute low. If you look on the 15-minute chart, right? If you look on a 15-minute chart, we got lows down here. So, did it take out those lows? Let me look. It's a little bit easier to see on this chart. Not quite yet, but it looks like it's about to take out those lows. All right, it looks like it just took out the low. There it is. So it just took out those lows. So let's see. Let's see what happens. We got a pivot point obviously down here. You see there's a pivot point. So this could be an area, if we do bounce, this could be a high likelihood that we bounce here. Obviously nothing's guaranteed, so just gotta see what the market gives, and we take what the market gives. Now pre-market lows are still down there. Let me look. Starting to push back into that range. We got pre-market lows. Was this a no, that's not a news event. Big wick right below that pivot point right there. So that would be pre-market lows. We'll see. If it wants to take out for these lows and possibly rip up, or it wants to take out pre-market lows. Regardless, let's see, we're all right, kind of rejecting off. Actually, let me mark out pre-market lows just in case, so that if it does come down there, so I'll know when it sweeps it. It's right below that pivot point. Let me grab this. Pre-market lows. It is right there. So we'll keep an eye on pre-market lows, but I'm gonna go back to that 1 minute chart. See, right below that pivot point. So it looks like we possibly want to go for those pre-market lows, which is fine, you know. It's still gonna can potentially get a setup if it takes out pre-market lows, comes back into this range maybe, but just gotta wait, you know. I don't want to try to predict what the market's gonna be doing. I want to react off what the market does. Alright, sorry. I'm trying to figure. Alright. We're at that pivot point, right? So we gotta be careful. We're at that pivot point. We could possibly bounce or flush through it. I mean, I would assume, right? We're pretty, there's gonna be some, most likely, like 90-something% chance there's gonna be some positive news, right? They're expecting to cut rate cuts, so it's not like we're expecting horrible news. We're expecting some pretty good news. But how much do you spend and make? Honestly, I don't even keep track. I don't keep track. I don't have like a Excel sheet or any of that. Probably should keep track. Bearish or bullish? I'm looking for a move back up, a bullish move back up, but I'm trying to wait. How much should I start with trading? 0. You need a sim trade before you get in with before you start investing any kind of money. I think you need a sim trade and figure out a strategy and prove to yourself that, you know, you can make money using that strategy over, you know, some time frame, and then possibly go to like a prop firm and take an evaluation account. But bruh, like, you know, or you could go to straight to an evaluation, but you know, you're gonna pay a monthly fee. You're probably gonna blow the account, but if you can make that account last the whole month, it's, you know, it's fine. It's a learning process. The thing about it is you're gonna lose money in the beginning. You're a trader, but don't keep track of your spend. I know. It's not a good idea. It's not good, but I don't spend a lot. I really don't. It's not like I'm let's put it this way, right? I'm gonna put it this way. I've never blown a funded account. So I'm not out here like other traders who are going through evaluation accounts left and right. Like, my I'm not, you know, I give myself time to pass the evaluations. I'm not blowing them left and right. So there's really not that much expenses. Do you trade as a hobby or no, I mean, I trade full-time in a sense of I trade every single morning, but it's more of a hobby. I mean, I do it as a hobby. I enjoy it. I find it fun, so. Come on, NASDAQ. We haven't swept those pre-market lows yet. We came very close, but haven't swept them. Not sure what it wants to do. So. Holy rejection. Do you make good money off a trade? I mean, what's good money? I mean, I don't. Good money is very like for someone, $1,000 a month in trading is good money, and then for another person, that's, you know, that's not good money. Like I don't make I don't make any, you know, crazy amounts or anything like that. Yeah, good money is very relative. Somebody making 50K a month, having even like a $4,000 month, that's a break-even month for someone. That's not a good month. That's not good money. But for another person, that's like, that's really good money. That's a full-time income for someone. 2,000 a month is that? Oh yeah, I mean, yeah. Trading's the type of thing where, I mean, 2,000 a month is possible, 200,000 a month is possible, 2 million a month is possible. Like, the thing about trading is there's so much levels to it. It's insane the levels there are to trading. But what do you do for work? I buy and sell cars. My main job is buying and selling cars. I buy cars from insurance companies, fix them up, and sell them. Trading is like an uncapped thing. You can make a ton, but you can also lose a ton. Yeah, exactly. That's why in the beginning, when you're learning, you shouldn't invest any money. You should be sim trading until you can really prove to yourself that you have good discipline and good psychology. Because the thing about trading is you need discipline. You need discipline and you need psychology. Because if you don't have the two, right? No matter how good you are at trading, if you just go on tilt and end up blowing your account in one trade because you can't take a loss, then you'll never be successful in trading. There's a trading book, I've never read it, but the title is perfect. It's called The Best Loser Wins. And trading is a type of thing, the faster you can realize and admit that you are wrong, the better off you're going to be. And the better off you're going to be is when you can just stay out of the market when the market's not giving you setups. If you can go day, possibly sometimes 2 days without taking a trade because the market's not giving you anything, that's a start of a good sign. Because a big part of trading is capital preservation, right? Anybody can take a trade anybody can take a trade and make money on that trade, right? But not everyone can learn how to preserve that capital, and that goes into staying out of stupid trades. But yeah, trading you got to be careful with. I mean, you can lose a lot of money if you don't know what you're doing. That's why I don't recommend beginners to trade with real money or any of that. I mean, I think simulated trading is the best. You can go with a prop firm, but just size accordingly so that you can make that account last the whole month, because you're going to blow that account, especially if you're a beginner. You're going to blow that account. So you want it to stretch out as long as possible, because your goal as a beginner trader, your goal is not to make money, right? Your goal is to figure out a system and stick to that system and continuously, you know, try to improve so that you can become profitable and learn from your mistakes. That's your goal as a beginner, to get to break even, right? There's stages you have to get to become a profitable trader. You go from losing money, or a simulated account, when I say losing money, sim account, hopefully, losing money to being break even to making money, right? So if you're in the beginning stages, your goal isn't to get to making money. Your goal is to get to break even, because you kind of transition to that break-even stage to where you're not losing money, but you know, you're a little bit disciplined to the point where you're not making money and you're not losing money. You're kind of just in the middle. And then you kind of make some tweaks, do this, do that, and then you start to shift over to being profitable. You become a little more patient with your trades. You take better trades, and you start to become more profitable. And then once you are profitable, there's just a level of scaling. Once you really do know how to make money, there's scaling accounts. You can buy multiple prop firm accounts. You can copy trade. You can have 20 accounts on this, on Apex, and then you can get 5 more accounts on this, and then, right? And then if you're making $500 a trade, multiply that by 25 accounts, you're making some crazy money. That's the potential of prop firms and trading. But right, it's not a get rich quick scheme. It's gonna take, for most people, it takes a very long time to get to that level. What the heck is this? It takes a very long time. If you hear stories, most people that are like actually good at trading, right? They've typically been trading for like 8 years, you know, 7 years. You really don't hear of people, oh, I've been trading for a year and I'm making crazy amounts of money. Unless they have a Discord or some kind of like course or whatever, and they're making money off the course. They're not making money off trading. Maybe there's somebody that's an anomaly, but in general, it does take a while. And everyone has a different learning phase because some people, their psychology, they can... some people are naturally just more patient. Some people are impatient, so it takes them a lot longer. Some people are faster for learning from their mistakes. Some people take, that's why some people can become profitable in 3 years. Some people it takes 7 years. It just depends on you. All right, we're pushing back into that range. I've been trading for a year and I'm making crazy amounts of money. I mean, if you're telling the truth and not capping, I mean, that's good if you're telling the truth. I mean, it's possible. I'm not going to say you're lying because it's possible, but is it likely for most people? No. All right, let's see if we can get a bullish gap get created. I would be interested in a long. See how this candle, see, we get buyers. As soon as we pushed back into this 5-minute range, a lot of buyers started stepping in. So, we got 40K to invest. Do not invest. I can't give financial advice. I can't tell you to invest anything. Very risky. I mean, trading's that type of thing, especially if you put, you know, that kind of money into something and you don't know what you're doing, you're probably going to lose it all, most likely. Very high likelihood you're going to lose it all. So be very careful. Safest bet is to put it in a S&P 500, you know, and kind of like as a 401k and just... But obviously I can't give financial advice. That's not... All right, we got a gap. Let's see if we can get an entry possibly. I'm trying to calculate my risk. It's going to be about, let's say, 20, 40, 60, 80. So with one micro, $80 risk. Let's see, 80. I'm going to take 5 contracts if this can... Let's see what happens. A little bit, oh, man, never mind. False alarm. It filled. Well, we had like 5 seconds left. It filled the imbalance. I thought there was going to be a gap get created, but it filled it last second, so. False alarm, never mind. Still waiting. Do you paper trade? I trade with prop firms, so it's technically simulated trading, but you can make real money, but I do prop firm trading. Those accounts, I use take Profit Trader and Apex. It's the 1-minute chart, right? And the powerful thing, right? Apex, what is it? It's like 33 bucks for an account. You know, and it's not bad if you can, you know, stretch that account. And then if you get good, you can get multiple accounts. You can copy trade up to 20 accounts. And then take Profit Trader, right? 40% off, no activation fees. So you're in essence paying for an account, and once you get funded, there's no more fees that go with it. And take Profit Trader, you can get to a level where you can start taking daily payouts. When you get past a certain point, you can start taking daily payouts. So that's pretty cool. If you make 400 bucks, take a payout. The next day you make 400 bucks, take a payout. So that's why I have Take Profit Trader, because they have that. It's pretty cool. All right, man, we're not getting the bummer. Man, I was hoping there was gonna be a gap here. It would have been a perfect entry. Last 5 seconds, it filled that imbalance, and there was no imbalance. This is a horrible chart. What's a horrible chart? Is it a horrible chart because I don't have millions of indicators on my chart? Oh, that's funny. Is that yellow line I see everyone have it on? Probably not. What the line you probably see everyone have is VWAP. This is not the VWAP. This is the 200. It pretty much follows very closely with the VWAP pretty much the whole time. VWAP is usually right around the 200. But most people have, it's called VWAP. It's like it's the most popular indicator everyone uses. It's volume weighted average price. This is the 200. So it's the past 200 candles. It's the 200 EMA, like exponential moving average, and it calculates it based on the past 200 candles. So, right, you see where it's at on the 1 minute chart? Watch, if I move to a 5 minute chart, see, it's in a completely different spot on a 5 minute chart because it calculates the past 200 candles, and there's a moving average according to that. So it's a pretty good, but somebody said, what do you say, 5 minute gap incoming? Yeah, there is a 5 minute gap right there. It filled that imbalance already, so filled this gap. Let's see. Got a pretty big drop back down to the bottom of that range. Got double liquidity, Asia and London highs. Talking about equal highs? I didn't even, you see. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah, we do have equal highs up there. If you look, right here. We got these equal highs here and then here. Alright, what's it gonna do? Man, it pushed above view up pretty well and just completely dumped down. It could be like bouncing off this order block. We'll see. But at the same time, it hasn't taken out. It has not taken out Asia pre-market lows. Let's see, man. I'm telling you, you got to be careful with today. Today's FOMC, so we're not going to get any crazy moves, most likely, you know, to like one direction. We are getting some pretty good volatility, though, so far. I'll say that. It's not bad. It's moving good. As long as it doesn't freaking move sideways like the past 2 days, where it's just like, it was decent in the morning, and then like 10:30, 10 o'clock, it just started freaking moving sideways. So hopefully it doesn't happen today. What do you think the crypto market will do? I have no idea. I've traded crypto before, but I took all my money out. I'm not. These wicks are actually crazy. It is some pretty crazy price action. It's up and down moves. I like it. I like this up and down moves. You know, it gives you more opportunity for a setup versus it just going sideways. You can't really do nothing when something's going sideways. I know people try and they get burnt, they blow their accounts. But realistically, if you actually have a strategy, typically sideways moves don't really give you entries, usually. Oh, FOMC is gonna, I'm not even trading, I'm not gonna be trading FOMC. I never really trade FOMC. It's too crazy, man. It's one way to blow your account. It's like unless I get a like a evaluation account, and I don't really care. But the volatility in FOMC is, you can easily blow your account even with like 1 micro. What time FOMC? FOMC 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock, and then press conference is at 2:30. So pretty much 2 o'clock the news comes out is when the crazy volatility starts. And then 2:30 is when Jerome Powell comes out and he starts talking. So what some people do is they won't trade the news, but they'll wait till Jerome Powell stops talking. So 2:30 he starts talking, and then once he stops talking, and then people start trading. Because it's still pretty good price action after he starts talking, and you know, you can still get some moves and you don't have to worry about like him saying something. That's the thing about FOMC, especially if you're doing it when he's talking. Like, all it takes is for him to say something and price shoot to one direction. So it's like, can you really trade a strategy or price action? Like, you can, but you know, he could say something that could just mess everything up. Looks like it wants to come down and sweep those Asia lows or pre-market lows. What's PDL? What do you mean by PDL? You mean PDT or PDL? Asia lows gonna get, it looks like it, yeah. We could get the move after Asia lows are swept, right? Maybe it comes down one more time, sweeps Asia lows, and then we start getting that move to the upside. Pretty much it just rebalanced. All price did with this move back up, and this is why it's important to look at previous day low. Okay, yeah. Pre-market lows, yeah, they're about to get swept. You taking, yeah, I want to take a trade if I can get it. There's pre-market lows just got swept, so. Right? There's pre-market lows, so this move up, this is why you had to be careful, right? We got this big move up, why? We had an imbalance right there on a 5-minute chart. All we did was push up and fill that imbalance, and then we started moving right back down. So, let's see what happens here. So pre-market lows just got swept. See if buyers can start stepping in, or this is kind of a make or break it type area, right? If buyers can't start stepping in, we can't start moving back up, and this just keeps flushing down, it's gonna suck. Let's see. Yeah, we don't have much liquidity down there. Got a couple imbalances that may want to get filled, but if price is gonna bounce, this is the time right now. It's gotta bounce here. In a 4 hour. Oh, is it? it's gonna bounce. This is the area. This is the time. Make or break. Make or break. What's your recommended strategy? I mean, I don't recommend strategies because every person... The thing about trading is a strategy that's profitable for one person may not be profitable for someone else, just because of psychology and stuff like that. But like, theoretically, right, it should be you should be able to be profitable, but it doesn't always work that way. You just gotta kind of go, especially as a beginner, you gotta look at different strategies, look at the market, and kind of find a strategy that you enjoy, that you understand, and that works for you. That's the hard part about trading. You have to find it yourself. Like, nobody can tell you this strategy, use this strategy. I mean, you just have to look at different people's strategy, try to back test it, try to see like what you understand, what strategy you understand the most, and what you like based on your psychology, right? Some people take longer term trades because they're patient. Some people aren't patient and they take scalps. We just inversed this 1 minute, so, well, yeah, backtesting is, and that's what gives you the confidence. If you're able to backtest and see that your strategy is profitable by doing these types of steps, then patience becomes a lot easier, right? Because all you know in your head, all you have to do is be patient. If your backtesting has proved that it's profitable, all you have to do is just be patient. Just wait for that setup, and that's it. There's no reason to, you don't get emotional. You don't think you missed out on a move. If a move happens and you missed it, if you didn't get an entry, you didn't get an entry. It's not your strategy, then. But backtesting is what gives you confidence in your strategy. And then obviously, trading it in real time gives you confidence too. The more you trading market gaps. Yeah, I use gaps. I use gaps for entries. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I use gaps for entries. I prefer to take trades in this 5-minute range. If there's my idea, you know, if we can see if buyers can start stepping in here. That's the key. We need buyers to really start to step in. And now that we took out, right, pre-market lows, we may start to want to move up and start to kind of try to move back to these highs up here, possibly, right? We still got some liquidity over here that needs to get filled. So the idea, if it can start moving up here and I can take a good, you know, good RR trade with a good entry. But as of now, right, price is still like, buyers still aren't really stepping in. Possibly because FOMC, I mean, and I said this yesterday, right? Today's a really weird week, and you got to be careful with this week. It's FOMC week. Yesterday, we had sideways action. Monday, we had sideways action. Today, you got to be careful because we may not get big moves because everybody, like the big players of the market that invest millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars, the people who actually move the market with their size, they're not going to be getting into a trade really before FOMC. So it could be a lot of chop today, is what I'm saying. Also waiting on that break of structure. Yeah, for me, what I'm waiting for is, oh crap, where's that? What I'm waiting for is price potentially, yeah, kind of like start pushing up, you know, breaking above here, and then once it gets back into this range, give me kind of like a setup up here that it confirms that I could maybe start taking this long. Man, I keep moving my freaking, I just moved the 5-minute range. Hold on, I gotta adjust it. Crap. All right. I think we're good. This goes up a little bit. Just inversed 1 minute. Yeah, I see that. This 1 minute just got inversed. I mean, I have it marked out. I want a little bit more confirmation than that. This trade we're... Bruh, that's not a spot you want to be in. That's crazy. Unless you're at a valuation account and you're willing to blow the account, that's different, but... Yeah, not a spot you want to be in. Just YOLO. This will make or break. ES trying to go down. Is it more bearish? I don't have ES pulled up on my chart. No, it's an eval. Oh, okay. I mean, it's... Yeah, if you're fine with blowing the account, eval, then... You know... You understand the risk. But, you know, this is a very tough area. I mean, it is a spot. I mean, to go long, it's possible because this thing can start moving back up. Alright, we did inverse this 1 minute, so... The problem is as you see, buyers really aren't stepping in. Like I said, you're not going to get probably a lot of buyers starting to step in. Nobody that's actually moves the market, that invests crazy money, is getting... Nobody's investing millions of dollars right now, right before FOMC comes out, and they're all sitting on their hands, most likely, you know? So that's why you're seeing this kind of like chop action. You're not... Saw a little bit of some moves, but so far nothing really to one direction, just kind of taking out lows and moving back up, which I like. I don't mind it at all. I like this kind of price action if it doesn't, as long as like this right here, like this, taking out a low and then shooting back up and then taking out a low and then shooting back up. I like that. I'm waiting for the best possible trade. Yeah, I mean, it's yeah, and that looks different for everybody, right? Somebody with a different strategy is looking for one setup, and I really want buyers to start to kind of confirm. I want it to really start breaking these highs, right? So if we can break these highs, the idea is it breaks these highs, pushes back into the range, gives me kind of a bullish gap to enter off of. This now has to hold as support if it breaks above it, right? Because previous resistance turns into new support. So this would have to hold as support possibly to continue going up. So that's like kind of the confirmation I'm looking for. I just don't want to get in here just because we're going up just a little bit, because you see what's happening, right? What time is it? Oh, 10:11. Ugh. 510 retrace breakup structure and then re-enter. Yeah, it's not a bad strategy. You're looking for a confirmation, so you're staying out of this crap right here. Like, I don't, man, it should not go back down. Like, if it goes back down to these lows, then it takes out him again. We may just start moving lower at that point, right? Because we've already took out pre-market lows. We don't really have much levels past this right here. So, it's gonna start looking ugly in terms of, right? It's gonna start looking ugly if we can't hold this. For the bulls. Break out of the structure. Let's see. Oh, NASDAQ. I knew this week is like crazy week. It's not favorable price action. So today's not bad so far. That's just a bearish gap that got inversed. But I'm not trading off it. I just have it marked, but can it break the structure? What time? 10:14. We got 15-minute candles about to. What does a 15-minute chart look like? All right, look at the 15-minute chart. Right, pretty starting to get a wick. Starting to get kind of you know, pretty bullish. We're getting a, depending on how this candle closes, it's about to, oh, there it is. Boom. So close pretty bullish, right? This 15-minute candle. We'll see. Depending on what it does here. I mean, if it can't get back into this 5-minute range, I mean, we're probably gonna continue. My eyes, we could probably continue lower. For me to really be bullish, it's got to get back into this 5-minute range and start really showing signs of. As long as we're below the 5-minute range, I mean, it could reject off this 5-minute range too. It could push up, reject off the bottom of that 5-minute range to go lower. So that's why I need a push back into this range. Really kind of confirms to me that bulls are. Ugh. Not looking good, man. Bro, I think tomorrow is going to be some good price action. Let's see what tomorrow has. We got 8:30 and then yellow folder at 10 o'clock. So. The market's, you know, the FOMC is going to be out already, so market may move pretty good tomorrow. Yeah. Bulls don't have it in them today. And I understand, man. I would not be, you know, I would not be investing a lot of money if I had a lot of money to invest, you know. So that's why I said be careful. Don't expect any. This week has been, you know, a lot of sitting on my hands this week. To be honest with you, a lot of sitting on my hands. Like some weeks you get such good setups and you're taking trade after trade after trade, and then other weeks is just not giving you much at all. But you know, that's fine. That's a part of trading, sitting on your hands for the good trades when those good days do come and you capitalize on them. But think about it, what's gonna happen if I take dumb trades right now and I start to lose money? When that good week does come, when those good days do come, you know, instead of actually making money, all I'm gonna be doing is making back losses. That's it. Looks like we're going lower. I know some people took this inverse right here. There are people who took this inverse. I can feel it. They saw that 1 minute sweep. They got that 1 minute inverse. And they said, I'm in. I'm in. And the market said, nah, bruh. Wait. Want to see a wick to 441 on 15 minute. 440? Why 440? It already took out pre-market lows. I mean, it could drop, but this is a big support level. Oh, is a level from Monday? Let's see. What was Monday? Today's what? Today's Wednesday, so Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. I mean, there's a gap, right? There's a 15-minute imbalance that some imbalances from Monday that haven't got filled. Come on, Nasdaq. And see now, right? If we do start to kind of move back up, see all this resistance, once it breaks out of it and starts ripping, this now has to hold as support. So theoretically, if it does come, rips through it and then comes back down, it can retest it as support to continue moving up. What, shirts? What are for shorts? I'm not thinking about taking, I don't think it's smart to take a short. I mean, if you have a strategy that shows you to take a short here, I can't tell you not to. But what I'm saying is this is a big support level. We just swept pre-market lows. A lot of support down here. A lot. Look on the 15-minute chart and you'll see. Look at the wicks. That tells you a lot. There's a lot of support down here. This is a make or break area, right? Either buyers can hold this and start stepping in. If buyers can't do that and we start flushing, I mean, once bears take this low, we could just flush and keep flushing. So kind of a make or break kind of scenario here. Ugh. Tough. We need to break. We need to break this 480 level. And when I say break, I don't mean just sweep it. I mean actually break and close above it heavily. We just can't do it. FOMC, man. Thoughts on Bitcoin? I mean, I don't have any real thoughts on. I don't trade crypto. I used to. I've made money with crypto, but I took it out and I just trade futures now. But I mean, it's definitely the most popular crypto. We're almost at 10:30. I like futures. I like futures just because I trade it every single day and it kind of, I understand it better, the price action of it. You know? And with prop firms, I can trade with prop firms, so. Here, give me a second. I'll be back in a second. Oh, crap. We may be going for those. Maybe going lower. Disappeared. Does anybody know how I take out my money from token? I don't have no idea. Sounds like a question for AI. Chat GPT. I can watch. I feel it. I feel it. I can feel it in my bones. Yeah, this is not looking good for longs. Guys, I got to. What? Hold on, somebody's here. Sorry, it was the market makers. They just wanted to apologize for the price action. I said it's alright. I said I'm patient, it's fine. Oh boy, took it out again. So what? Pre-market lows just got taken. Well, the low of pre-market lows that got swept just got taken out. I think we're going lower, man. This is not. We got so much room to the downside, though. That's the crazy part. If you look on, let's say, an hourly chart. Right? If you look on an hourly chart, I mean, liquidity-wise, right, we do have some imbalances here that potentially price could bounce off of, but liquidity-wise, the next level's all the way down here. So you got a lot of room to the downside. Yeah, so who 440's got hit. There it is. Congratulations. I'm in a short. Yeah, tough, man. Like, if I wanted to get into a position, like, right, if you look on the hourly chart, this is a great spot of potential reversal. Right? These lows right here, right? We have a pivot there. We have the 200 EMA there. So there's a lot of support. A lot of support in this area right here. But I was looking for, you know, possibly a push back into this 5-minute range to get an entry long. Did not give it to me. Yeah, you always want to wait for price. Like, if you're looking for a short, right, you don't want to just go short here. The best short would be for it to push back up and retest this bottom, right? So then it gives you the good risk to reward of maybe having your stop loss above the highs, right? And then you're targeting another level. So you don't want to just buy short here. You want to wait for price to potentially come back up and retest this area to go short. But the downside of that is, you know, you may miss the move. It may move without you. But that's just the risk of taking a trade. I mean, being patient. Probably not the best short, but I blew my funded last week. I'm on a new eval. Oh, man. Yeah, it's a tough area short. I mean, we could go lower. I mean, it failed to hold pre-market lows. This thing could go lower. Say wait, say what? Right, yeah, I don't want to see anybody. I don't want to see anybody fail. Like, I give advice that doesn't necessarily benefit me, right? It actually hurts. I mean, it would technically hurt me, right? You would think somebody, especially me having, you know, PropFirm affiliate codes up. Technically, for me, the people that use my code, if they fail, right? Technically, you get more affiliate money, but bro, I would rather see someone succeed. I tell you I tell you advice that technically hurts me in the long run. That's not beneficial for me, but is beneficial for you. When I say, you know, size accordingly so you can make your account last. Like, not to blow your accounts. Because it could, bro, it gets into I've been in that situation. It gets into a spiral where all you're doing is just blowing accounts. And the thing about it is this way, right? If you can't take an eval slow, now I know some people want to pass an eval like in one day, and if you've already proven yourself profitable and you know what you're doing, there's nothing wrong with that. If you're understanding the risk and you have a strategy, you know, you wait for a good trade, nothing wrong with that. But the problem is when you aren't confident in your trading, you just keep blowing accounts left and right. And if you can't hold an eval long term, meaning size down and pass that eval over a long period of trades, then what, even if you do get into a funded account, what's gonna happen is you're just gonna end up blowing the funded account, right? Because you're just gonna be doing the same thing you were on evals, which are blowing evals, so it just transfers over to funded, and you just paid an activation fee just so you can blow the account. This longs right now? Not really. This could be a rejection area right here, right? We're right. This is also right. It comes back up. This could be a rejection area of it. Old support. You got to remember, old support sometimes turns into new resistance, or it has to turn into new resistance to continue going lower. So could you buy right here? Yes, you could buy, but you're just guessing, right? You're kind of like just saying, you're flipping a coin and going, this may go up, this may go down. You're at an area where it could reject here because it's old support level, but also could it break through and start ripping? Also, yes. But in my eyes, right, more likely reject, because the fact that we couldn't hold. This was the first warning sign right here, right? And I said before, this has to hold. If we're going to go up, this has to kind of continue holding. So the fact that we took out pre-market lows and failed to go higher, and now we broke down, right, that level where we took out pre-market lows, now we broke down that level. Now it's coming up, possibly retesting those sorry, I said pre-market highs, pre-market lows. Now it's retesting pre-market lows to potentially go lower. It's all about risk to reward. That's what I said before, right? When price was right here, what did I say? I said, if you're looking to go short, it's not a good idea just to enter short right there just because we're going down, right? You want to wait for price to come to you. I literally said, if I was to go short, I would have took a short right here, right? If I wanted to go short. That's the short I would have taken, because that old support turns into new resistance once it breaks it. You can see what happened. Price came up, tested it as resistance, moving back down. And look how much more money you're making versus if you would have entered down here, just waiting for that retrace. But the downside of this is, right, if you wait for this retrace, listen, sometimes you don't get the retrace. Sometimes price does go down and it just keeps flushing and flushing and flushing and flushing and you don't get the entry. Trust me, I've had where my strategy, right, I wait for the retrace. I have a bullish gap. I wait for price to retrace back into that bullish gap for me to take an entry. I think it was last week, like 3 trades in a row in one day, it just did not give me a retrace. The setup was there. It went to the target straight without giving me the retrace. I had to stay on my hands. I had to sit on my hands because it wasn't retracing where I wanted it to. And so even though the trade worked out, but I didn't get the entry. But that's just that's a hard part of trading, is sometimes because you're patient for these retraces, sometimes they don't happen. But yeah, it looks like we're going lower. And right, pay attention to this 5-minute range. Right? The 5-minute range is right here. A lot of times what you notice, and this is why I love the 5-minute range, because it tells you a lot. A lot of times, once we break that 5-minute range and fail to kind of continue back in the 5-minute range to the other side of liquidity, once we break it, we typically start holding the either end of the 5-minute range. Right? If we break above it, we start holding the 5-minute range. It typically continues holding that 5-minute range. We break below it, right? It kind of holds below it. Market manipulation. No, I don't think this isn't market manipulation right here. This is just like, this is not many buyers are going to step in, right? In order for price to continue going up heavily, you need buyers to continue pushing it up. You need buyers to start stepping in. I mean, that's why price goes up at certain levels, right? It gets to a support level. It's just a natural level where buyers are going to start stepping in. And so on a day like today, like I was saying, the people that invest millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars, the people who actually move the market a lot, they're not trading. They're not taking any positions today. You've got to be the biggest idiot in the world to invest a crazy amount of money, like a couple hours before the biggest news event comes out in market, in market history. This is literally the biggest event in the market. So when the big players don't step in and push it up, this is what's going to happen. It's not going to go anywhere. It's just going to probably go lower, or when you go into enter, doesn't look like, doesn't look like it's giving me a trade. My main thing I look for is something like this, right? We never got an entry, never confirmed. So what I look for is for price to break outside the 5-minute, push back inside the 5-minute range, leaving behind a bullish gap. I take a retrace back to that bullish gap for the next level of liquidity. For me, that strategy has been working very well. Very well. So, right, obviously I did not get the setup. It just didn't leave any gaps behind, nothing, just flushed right back down. So bummer. What's the biggest event? FOMC. FOMC is the biggest event in the market. If you haven't seen FOMC price action, just log on and watch FOMC price action. That's absolutely ridiculous. Freaking, bruh, it goes insane. Which is why I don't trade FOMC. I've traded it before. I've passed evaluation. I've actually passed evaluation accounts using FOMC, but it's a gamble, right? I passed evaluation accounts. You just don't know. I mean, now there is bullish sentiment in the market, right? We're expecting a rate cut. There's like a 90-something% chance that they're gonna cut rates. So, but here's the thing: the market already has that. The market's already accounted for that, right? That's already in the market. We're already expecting it. So it's not like just because we're getting a rate cut does not mean we're just gonna shoot to the moon. No bullish sentiment? What do you mean no bullish sentiment? The Feds are supposed to cut rates. That's very good news. But if it's already what is it called? If the market's already taken that into an account. What does rate cuts affect the most? Well, interest rates. Right? The interest rates are they're getting cut by what? 0.25 0.25%. So it's not like a crazy rate cut, but it's a start. I mean, if you think about, a rate cut on a 30-year loan for a house is a lot of money. So it does make a difference. All right, but I would assume, right? I mean, I'm not an expert by any means in finances and interest rates and all that, but I would assume that these rate cuts, the biggest thing these rate cuts will affect is the housing market, because that's the biggest. Crap, hold on. I would assume the housing market, because that's the biggest thing, right? Biggest expense for people, and as far as interest rates and all that. We will dump. It's possible. That's see, here's the thing where people don't understand is that is possible. Because sometimes what people get is, oh, okay, Feds are gonna cut rates, so they expect the market to rip. And sometimes, even on bullish news, the market could tank. Because if it's already, if it's already taken that into an account, everyone's expecting that. So it's already kind of incorporated it into the market. So it's possible that even though it's pretty bullish news, you could still get a bearish move. And if you've been trading, when was it? I think it was tariff. I think it was tariffs. I'm not 100% sure, but I do remember there was a time where positive news would come out and the market would tank. Like, the market would literally do the opposite of what the news was. So if it was positive news, market would drop. If it was negative news, market would rip. I don't remember if this was COVID or the tariff news, but I remember it doing that for a time period, which was crazy. Like, people are like, bro, it's just literally doing the opposite of what you think it's gonna do, what it's expected to do. So that's why you can't really think, oh, bullish news, I'm just gonna YOLO it and it's gonna go to the moon for sure. Doesn't always happen that way. I come 9:30 every day. I live trade 9:30 every day. If you don't believe news can mess up a trade, go watch. Yeah, I have a video of that. News is something that's like, it's tough because it can wick you out. It's very volatile. You can have even the right, like, for example, like, right, news for FOMC. You can have the right direction, but still get stopped out because of how volatile it is. Especially if you're too heavily sized in, right? And it goes bullish, and then it starts tanking. It takes out a low way down there. You end up getting stopped out, and it rips right back up. So it's just, you could just, even though you get the right direction, you could still lose a lot of money. That's the problem with news. But with price action like this, when there's no news, right, it's a lot more predictable. Oh, I think it was tariffs. Was it tariffs? Tariffs messed up a lot of people. I'm not gonna lie, tariffs messed me up a little bit. Tariff price action, the tariff price action was insane. You could take one micro and still get, like, wrecked. It was moving so crazy. A lot of people blew their accounts because of tariff. You should not be entered during FOMC, PPI, unless you are willing to liquidate. Yeah, it's not smart. Like, it's just not good trading practices. It's not good. And you think, like, okay, yeah, there may be a time where, boom, you take a trade. You're in a trade during, like, a crazy event like PPI or CPI or something like that, and you do make a lot of money. And you think you're the freaking king. You think you're the boss. You figured it out. You made money. Yeah. I guarantee you, if you continue doing that, the market's going to take it all back and more. Because there's going to be that time where you're just going to get wrecked. Now, sometimes, right, if it's not a crazy news event, if I'm already in a trade, like, say I take a trade, and I'm already in a trade, and the news comes out while I'm in a trade, depending on, you know, I'll have my stop loss in. If I'm willing to take that risk, I'll have my stop loss in, my take profits. So just in case, right, everything's set in. So worst case scenario, it stops me out. But, you know, it's still... And here's the other problem with trading with news. Is you can have a stop loss set in place and still lose more money. Right? Like, I think it was... I have a video. I think it was that video, the third, where I put my stop loss to break even. News came out. Even though I got stopped out, it slipped me on some of my accounts. So even though I had my stop loss at break even, I still ended up losing on like 5 accounts. I lost $100 on 5 accounts, which is not a lot, right? It's not a crazy amount of money, but my point is the slippage is there. It was a break-even trade, but it slipped me to a $100 loss because of that news candle. Sorry if I missed your questions. It's just, oh, is Trump speaking? Yeah, Trump's another thing where it's like, you just never know. This is why you have to have stop losses in place. Because at any moment, Trump can tweet something that can cause the market to flush. And if it flushes, you want to be, and you're in a long, you want to have a stop loss set in place just in case. Can you help me understand what the times are not to enter? I mean, it really depends on your strategy, right? Like every strategy has its own confirmation where, you know, some people with one strategy, they look for specific confirmations to happen in order to take a trade. So like my confirmations could be different from someone else's confirmations. So it's just really, there's not a specific thing like, oh, you just stay out of a trade. Like, for me right now, this is like stay out of a trade territory. For someone else, they're taking trades off of this and you know, and they're trading this. They're getting some kind of confirmation with their strategy. So, it just depends. Should be mindful of your positions, get rid of the gamble aspect, and then you start to win. Yeah, there's two aspects, right? Get out of the gambling mindset. So, you get out of that mindset and you wait for price to come to you. Whatever your strategy is, you want price to come to you. So, then you're patient. You have your strategy, you wait for price to come to you to give you a good risk to reward ratio. Secondly, right, you sit on your hands until price does come to you. So you have to have patience, you have to have a strategy. Sometimes it takes sitting on your hands, not taking dumb trades, because playing defense in the market, right, not taking trades, just sitting on your hands, like having a break-even day, and people should understand this, having a break-even day is a winning day. If you walk away and you sat on your hands and you didn't get any setup and you walked away break even on the day, you didn't take any trades, that's a winning day. So, because that shows that you are patient. Like I said, I've said this previous times, you look at some of the most profitable traders out there, they're not taking trades every single day. I almost guarantee you that. They're not taking trades every day because they're patient. First of all, they're investing an insane amount of money per trade. So when you're doing that, you naturally have to be more patient. So, bro, they'll wait 2-3 days sometimes to take one trade. Some people wait even longer than that. But when they have a strategy, and when that trade does come, they execute and they make money. But you know. Well, I got into a short at 435. Depends where at 435. I literally said when this flush, right? When this flush happened, when price was like around here, I literally said, if I was getting short, I would wait for it to retest this area. Did exactly. It retested this area and flushed. Now, why didn't I take that trade? Even though I had a good idea what price could do, it's not my strategy for these accounts. It's not my strategy for these accounts. So even though the trade did work out and I called it, it's still, you know. But we're at this pivot point. This could be a bounce area. Appreciate the follows. Thank you. The PA was looking good for a short. It was. I'm not going to lie. It was. And the reason I said this short, right here, right? Think about this logically, right? Pre-market lows, a lot of times what you'll notice, pre-market lows get swept and we start ripping up. So for me, like I said before, pre-market lows got swept. We started moving sideways, right? Buyers just failed to step in when we swept pre-market lows. You see they tried, right? You see right here, it swept pre-market lows, buyers stepped in immediately. And then it just kind of went sideways and died off. So once it died off, once it broke these lows, kind of a red flag to me that we could be potentially just keep going lower. So it broke those lows, came back, retested pre-market lows to go lower. So old support level retested as new resistance level to go lower. Break and retest. Yeah, exactly. I know some people use this like 15-minute opening range, right? People trade the 15-minute opening range. They'll mark out the high and low of the first 15-minute candle. People always trade it a little differently. Some people wait for the breakout, close below, retest it to go lower. Some people wait for a different confirmation, but I know a lot of people trade that strategy. Oh, look at that. Bouncing off the pivot point. What a surprise. Bro, these pivot points, I'm telling you, I wouldn't take trades off of them and use them to like, but they are very good gauges of like, for example, if I'm in a long, right? Say I was to get on a long right here. Having these pivots, I understand price could reject right there. Having these pivots in place just gives you a good gauge of be careful because price could reject there. Like if somebody was short, right? For example, the person who went short. If you went short here or even here, right? Having these pivot points on your chart, you understand that, oh, there's a pivot down there. There could be a decent probability that price could have some form of buying pressure step in where this pivot is. And so maybe you take profits right before that pivot point hits or take partials out. Now what we broke I mean, it's probably just going to go lower. For this strategy, I was looking for the 5-minute range. It didn't give it to me. So we're going lower and yeah. All it's doing, right? It breaks a level, retraces back, it goes lower, right? It breaks a level, retraces back, holds it as resistance, goes lower. Just now, I mean, it's almost starting to kind of look like it could start reversing here, right? Because it broke this low, right? And now if this fails to make a new low and starts breaking this high, that could be the first sign of this thing starting to potentially reverse in the opposite direction. And that's kind of like a confirmation, right? We make a low, we pull up, we take out that low one more time, and then if we rip up, kind of breaking this structure, right? We're pulling back and we fail to make a new low. And this is kind of, this failure right here, right? This failure to make a new low is almost like an inverse head and shoulders, right? You see a shoulder right there, you see the head, and then this failure to make a new low would be the next shoulder. Ugh. All right, I may be stepping off here. I kind of figured today was not going to be the best, you know. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Price action was not bad today. I'm not going to say, oh, it was bad. It didn't give me the setup I was looking for personally, but we did get moves. I mean, you see it is moving. It's not moving sideways. So, I just didn't get the setup I wanted, which kind of sucks. I think tomorrow is going to be good. I think tomorrow is going to be good. Joined back during FOMC. I just don't have accounts to trade. Like, if I was to trade accounts, I would buy evaluation accounts. I would not trade funded accounts or like stuff like that during FOMC. I would do it for fun, but I don't know. We'll see. If I'm not too busy, I may step back on during FOMC, but we'll see. It's got a lot of stuff I gotta do. But I'll definitely be back tomorrow. Tomorrow, 9:30, I will be back for sure. Hopefully this, FOMC will already be out. We're gonna get some, hopefully, good price action tomorrow. But we're gonna push up. Yeah, this could be an area where it starts, this reversal area to go back up. It's very it's likely. But kind of wait for that. If you are taking along, have confirmation set in place. Don't enter just because it's going up a little bit. Like, have your confirmations to show you that it potentially wants to continue going to a next level. And pay attention to gaps. Pay attention to areas where price could reject if it does go higher. 15-minute chart, 5-minute chart. Are there any gaps that price could reject? Like, just a quick look. Look, before I leave, right? 5-minute chart. 5-minute chart. If I was to take a long here, right? I look at the gaps, right? Good. Not much gaps. The only gap on a 5-minute chart is all the way up here. So that's already a good sign. There's not much stopping price in terms of continuing up, gap-wise. Yeah. 15-minute chart, no gaps. So you're clear gap-wise. And then you kind of wait for a confirmation. You have your own confirmation. Wait for price to potentially confirm that it wants to go up. And then, right, next highest level, it could probably maybe try to go up for this liquidity. Start taking out all this liquidity to go up. But understand there's a pivot point right there. Price could reject off that pivot point. So maybe you'd have a TP before that pivot point, or take partials. Or there's so many ways you could trade and so many ways you can manage risk. It's just you have to figure out what you want to do and what works for you. I've been in longs for a while. Thought it was going to go back up off London lows when it inversed the fair value gap. Yeah, I said to people are probably taking this inverse right here. I'm not gonna lie. I've had this strategy before, and I've used it before. But you have to have a stop loss, right? If you are the person, right, and I'm not saying this was not a bad trade, to be honest with you. If you took this long right here, this was not a bad trade. Even though in hindsight, yes, it did not work out, but it was not a bad trade. If you look, right, gap got inversed. We swept pre-market lows. Gap got inversed, but you have to have a stop loss set in place. Your stop loss has to either be one of two things. You have to have a hard stop loss below the lows, or you have to have a stop loss once this gap gets closed back below, right? That's a red flag. If we inverse the gap and then we close back below it, kind of a red flag that we're probably going to flush to these lows. So, but having a hard stop at these lows is the best thing you could do to preserve capital. Just take the L. Because if you don't take the L, this is what happens. And you end up losing 2, 3, 4 times more money than you would want to. Just be disciplined. Just understand that trading is statistics. No trading strategy is going to have a 100% win rate. So even though something looks good and it works one time, right? Tomorrow may be the day, or today may be the day where it just does not work. The whole trade is good, but it just doesn't work. And then possibly look at maybe why you wouldn't have taken the trade. Maybe view op is very close, and right, we're so close to a lot of resistance that maybe that trade, like, try to figure out what you could have done better. That's the thing. But for sure, always have a hard stop loss. No matter what, make sure you have a level where you're like, I'm out. If it hits this level, I'm out. But yeah. But that's that. Looks like we're just gonna go lower and lower and lower. So I'll be back tomorrow, 9:30. So if you want to stop by, if you're gonna continue trading, be patient. Like I said, take profits at certain levels, take stops at certain levels, be disciplined. There's always tomorrow. There's no reason you should continue holding a loss, right? There's always tomorrow. Tomorrow will always come. So